¿Qué lo que mi gente? Yo soy Ricky de Bilingue Blogs. Thank you for tuning in. Sorry that I've been MIA. Actually, I was really going through some intensive training for my flight attendant training. You know, as you know, I got the job as a flight attendant. So, yeah. Right now, I'm in Haiti. So I'm about to show you guys my view from my hotel real quick, and then we're going to get into the actual video for today, which is using subtitles for language learning. But just look at this view really quick. It's pretty, I like it. It's decent, you know. Alright guys, so let's get into the video for today. Using subtitles to learn a language. I will say, disclaimer, this technique will be better suited for those who are intermediate and advanced learners of Spanish. Previously, I was 100% against subtitles, that they were like not going to help at all. Because here's what happens when I watch a show and there are subtitles on. I don't watch what's going on. My eyes are glued to the subtitles. I have to read every single thing that comes on that screen. So in my case, it's more like I'm reading an audiobook, And if I wanted to hear an audiobook, I would just go on YouTube or something. I don't have to watch a whole show to do that. But after consideration, after, really thinking about subtitles and even, hearing how some of you guys use subtitles, I decided maybe subtitles aren't so bad. So I want to share a few ways that may help you guys out to learn with subtitles. So there are a few things that we have to take into consideration first. The first thing is that when you're watching a show or a movie, whatever you're watching, or it could be listening to, it can be auditory as well, but whatever you're listening to, the moment that you're trying to use it to learn something, it is not about your entertainment. So this brings me back to my old logic about using subtitles and not liking them because I get too sucked into the subtitles. Well, if I'm using it to learn, I'm not watching the show to be entertained at that moment. I'm using it to learn. So that's one thing you have to take into consideration. The next two things is that you have to be patient and you have to rewind and pause a lot. Because, and you'll see why when I explain to you how to use subtitles, okay? So the first way that you can use subtitles, and this is mostly for those of you who want to work on your language comprehension. It doesn't have to be Spanish, but I use Spanish because I teach Spanish and English. So for your Spanish comprehension, you can do it this way. You will put your show on or your movie on. You will watch about 15 to 30 seconds of it, whatever time limit you want, but just make sure that you can really catch what's going on as far as what you hear. So you're not going to have subtitles on, you're just going to have your show on. You're going to have a notebook. You're going to write down every single thing you hear in Spanish. So this is a Spanish audio, you're writing in Spanish. Then you're going to rewind. Go back to the beginning where you started, put the subtitles on, and compare and contrast. See how well you matched up to the subtitles. That is a drill that can be used to help your Spanish comprehension. To help train your ear a little more for those of you who say, oh my gosh, Spanish speakers speak way too fast. This could help you. The next thing that you can do with subtitles is, let's say that you are watching a show in English, but you want to use Spanish subtitles. So if you're watching it in English, you have Spanish subtitles, the first thing you can do, this is more for like beginners or intermediates, the first thing that you can do is kind of pick out words in those subtitles that you don't know and write those down. There may be a lot of them, there may be a few, but just write those down, make a whole vocabulary list based off of those words that you don't know, and look up the definitions, and there you go, you're learning vocabulary. For the higher intermediate / advanced, another thing that you can do is watch your show in English, no subtitles at all, but translate it in Spanish. So you write it down in Spanish, what they're saying. Then go back to the beginning, rewind that, put the subtitles on, in Spanish of course, and see how well your translation matches the Spanish subtitles translation. Does all this make sense to you guys? Hopefully it does. So there's three things that I talked about in the video. If you missed something, go ahead and rewind the video so you can see every way that you can use subtitles, well, at least the ways that I'm talking about. But yeah, one thing I want to say about this last method though, so if you're watching something in English and you're translating it to Spanish, your interpretation of it may not match up 100% like word for word to the Spanish subtitles, and that's completely okay, because in Spanish there are many ways to say the same thing. So don't get discouraged if it's not the exact same thing. There's different accents that we have to take into account, and just, like I said, people just talk differently in general. So don't get discouraged if you got the gist of it, if you hit every point that you were supposed to hit in that sentence, paragraph, whatever it may be, then you're doing good. If you're nowhere close, or if you're close but not quite there, then you know you have some work to do. So those are my ways for using subtitles to help you learn Spanish or whatever language you want to learn. You can also do this with music, and honestly I think with music it's a lot easier because there's so much repetition, and typically with music every artist talks about the same thing: love, heartbreak, getting money, getting girls or guys, whatever you know, it's the same thing. So I mean, that's how I started learning Spanish, though, was actually through music. So feel free to use the lyrics the same way that you can use the subtitles, all that stuff. What I want you guys to do now is to, in the comments below, let me know how you use subtitles to learn languages. I may not have hit everything in this video. Like I said, I was firmly against them before, so I'm actually new to the whole process, but these are just some ways that I thought of and some ways that some subscribers have told me about. So let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to subscribe. Please share this if you found it helpful, and give it a thumbs up as well. Thank you. I'm glad to be back, you guys. Expect more videos from me, you know, from the places that I travel. I think in 2 days I'm going to Santiago, Chile, so I'll be making a video there too, maybe conversing with somebody, I don't know. So yeah, ya tú sabes. God bless you guys. Have a great day.